Hello, greetings, good morning. It's Monday, August 17th, and we'll be looking at the Gospel of John, chapter 10. August 17th is the birthday of my little niece, Sabine. She is 4 years old today. So her party was yesterday, but when it was observed was yesterday, and today is the actual birthday. So she's already 4. I can't believe it. And we're almost through the month of August here. Time flies and the thunder rolls and the storms. I don't know. There's not any Atlantic I know about right now, but they might be brewing. So as we head into September. But let's look at John chapter 10 this morning and not get ahead of ourselves. Jesus uses the imagery of the sheep. He is carrying on this message, the I am statements. I am the good shepherd. So Jesus is the shepherd. And there are sheep that he knows and sheep that know him. It says, he says, the sheep know me and I know them and they know my voice and they follow me. And that's where the safety and the comfort are for us with the good shepherd, for the sheep. They come through the gate. Anybody that hops over the fence is a robber or a thief. But if you come through the gate, you are welcome here. And he says in here, I am the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. And he doesn't just say that and move on from there. He describes the situation. If you are a hired hand watching someone else's sheep, when the wolf comes, you're not going to risk your life to save the sheep. You're going to just run away. And the shepherd who knows the sheep and loves the sheep is going to try to fight off the wolf. And that's what Jesus meant by lays down his life for the sheep. So get a different image of this this atonement theory. It's a different atonement theory here with what it means what Jesus did on the cross, to lay down his life for his sheep. Instead of a payment for some kind of a debt that was due to us from God, Jesus is presenting an idea about what it means to sacrifice yourself for someone else. And it's similar, very similar to the other atonement theories. I mean, it's all pretty much the same story. But what this emphasizes is the love aspect of it, not the punishment requirement involved, which is the other atonement theory. That we become at one with God through Jesus Christ by his sacrificial love, that offering of sacrificial love, that Jesus lays himself on the altar. And I would imagine if you could get that imagery from Genesis with Abraham and Isaac, when he's taking Isaac up that mountain, that really hard passage, he's taking Isaac up that mountain and ready to sacrifice his son, and then at the last minute, God says there's a ram in the thicket and Isaac lives. It is this idea that if your willingness to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, for the good of others, is that mending of whatever kind of ripped relationship you have with God. And we can also communicate that into our own lives. We can be good shepherds to one another, willing to lay down our lives for someone else. Especially in our culture and society today, those of us who experience a great deal of privilege, when we see that presented to us as over and against the bodies of others who are put at risk, their health, their welfare, their very lives, when are we willing to put our bodies in front of the danger in between the people who would be hurt or harmed or even killed? And we would stop that we would risk ourselves, but we would choose to stop that, especially when we know that people's bodies are being harmed by other people. Maybe it's time that we understood that trauma happens in our bodies and it becomes a part of physically who we are, and that what we can do is to put ourselves out there through sacrificial love to lay it on the line in front of the danger and place to help others that they might live, that their bodies might not be harmed. So we're given that challenge in our day-to-day life, that we would put our own interests at risk in the interest of others. And so this essentially is what Jesus did for us on the cross as that good shepherd that he describes here in chapter 10. So when he's talking, the authorities, that is, they're always challenging him, come to him. Are you the Messiah? Who are you? Are you just going to just tell us? We need to know, because they see the signs that he's doing and they see the way he's speaking about himself. And they pick up stones to stone him, because I guess that's what they like doing in John's gospel, the stones. And they pick up stones to stone him. And he asks, are you stoning me? Which of the good works that I've done, the signs, basically, the miracles, are you going to stone me for? And they're like, no, none of those good works. We have the good works. That's fine. We're going to stone you for blasphemy, for saying that you are God, that God is in you and you are with the Father. And he continues and says that same language. He does claim that again in front of them. And they try to arrest him again. And he escapes them somehow. Somehow, they don't stone him. They don't get to arrest him this time. And again, at the very end of the chapter, John the Baptist is mentioned. He's brought in again. And the people are claiming that every testimonial that John the Baptist has given about Jesus has come true. John the Baptist doesn't have the signs himself. Jesus has the signs, but John told the people about the signs that Jesus would do, and then Jesus did them. And so more people are believing and joining in the movement that Jesus has going, which is giving him probably, and this is an extrapolation of my own, more exposure and more interest. The authorities, or those who are challenging him, the ones who are picking up stones against him, are going to have more fodder for eventually arresting him and asking Pilate to crucify him. So it's all setting us up to get closer to the cross, ultimately. But many more were added. And I think that's something that we can focus on too, that we have a good shepherd that looks out for us. He knows who we are, and the attempt, especially of reading scripture every day and getting into the Gospels this summer, and prayers and relationships and conversations we have, is all to get closer to him. And then to move in a way as he would have us, after the example. We say that in our liturgy, after the example of our blessed Lord, after his example, to be the good shepherd for others, laying down our lives, putting down our interests for the good of others. Consider that as you go about your day. God bless you.